Okay, first question is obviously working for MLB Network. You got to see this year probably the greatest last game of the season. You're no stranger to that, pitching in that play-in game in '99. What was that like for you?
The play-in game for '99 was pretty cool. I'd tell you, what made that day and actually the day before something I'll never forget. After we beat the Pirates, we had to wait for the Brewers and the Reds to play to decide whether we were going to take off from LaGuardia, go to Cincinnati, play a 106th third game, or go to Arizona and play the D-backs. And I knew I was starting either game. I was going to either face Randy Johnson in game one or this game. And we later find out, as we were sitting in the Diamond Club at Shea Stadium, oh, by the way, we now have to fly to Cincinnati. And I just think about that whole feeling of going into Cincinnati, the crazed fanaticism in Cincinnati. Really, they were totally into it. Packed house. And you know, there's few moments in my career I'd have to say that I could specifically pull out as my moments, and there's no doubt about it. The 106th third game ranks right up there, if not number one, certainly close to it.
It's interesting because 3 world championships. If you had to pick one of the world championships, which is the one that sticks out for you?
1997. I was a starter throughout the whole postseason. Unlike with Toronto, I was a reliever. Even though they're all special and you win and you're part of it and you figure out how you fit in the puzzle, in '97 to get an opportunity to pitch in the Game 7 and pitch well enough for our team to eventually win in the 11th inning. Edgar Renteria basing up the middle after tying the ball game up in the 9th. Special stuff, Game 7. You mentioned about watching this World Series with St. Louis and Texas, and I think Game 6 was the best game I've seen. Honestly, having played, having experienced some awesome games, I was in the game when Joe Carter hit the home run. I pitched in the 2 previous innings. Awesome as that was, to watch Game 6, how it played out with the 3 leads and how it went back and forth, and the extra inning win by the Cardinals. Pretty cool stuff.
I don't know if you caught it at MLB. I don't know if they streamed the audio. Were you aware, did you see the call of Game 6, that it was an identical call that Jack Buck and Joe Buck made 20 years apart, like the signatures call, we'll see you tomorrow night? Were you aware of that in the studio?
I was actually at the stadium, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit. I sat in the production truck because I worked for MLB Network, and we were doing pre- and post-game shows. Wouldn't surprise me. Everybody in the production truck figured that Joe would say that because it was apropos, and how cool that he can tie the legacy of the late great father, Jack Buck.
Unbelievable. And also, you mentioned the first World Series, the '97 World Series is the one that you felt most important. No-hitter, World Series. Which one stands out?
Oh, World Series. Yeah. You know, the no-hitter's kind of weird. It's especially mine because it wasn't a tight game. We were winning. We were blowing them out. Blowing out Colorado in 1996. It was with the Marlins, and it was really a matter of whether I was going to get the no-hitter or not. So there really wasn't any anxiety with my teammates, you know, as far as wins and losses. Not even close. All of the World Series wins I would take over the no-hitter.
All right, got 2 more. I know you got to get back. Looking at all the managers you've played under, you know, Billy Martin, Bobby V, Jack McKeon, Jimmy Leland. Yeah, there's so many high-profile guys. If you could take the best out of each guy to make one super manager, what do you think the traits of
communication? That's an easy question. To be able to communicate with people is difficult for some, and I would think if I were in hiring, I would look for my best communicator. Even less about X's and O's, because I think more times than not managers mess up a game than help a game, especially in the American League. You can leave the guys alone. You got a talented bunch, give them the bats, the balls, the helmets, and just say, hey guys, go play. I'll figure out when to take a pitcher out. Nationally, a little bit different. Just to be able to communicate. I know, and I was part of it with the Mets, because we played on some playoff teams and some competitive teams that I don't believe were the best teams in the National League. We ended up getting there in 2000, losing to the Yanks. We had a great bunch of guys. We had guys that got along. It was a cohesive unit. I believe in chemistry. I so believe in chemistry in the work environment. You got to like your coworker. It just makes you better in your own job. I think it makes you more focused. So I think a manager's ability to know you as a person, know him as a person, know me, no, and get to know them, peel it back beyond in their uniforms. How's the wife? Know them by name. How's the kids? You know them, because you'll play for them differently. That's what I think Ron Washington has. Ron Washington has a special bond with his players. They will run through a brick wall because they really, really like him.
It's interesting that you brought that up, so I'm gonna it just triggered something in my mind when you talk about chemistry and teamwork. You were part of something that to me is the biggest example of chemistry and teamwork, and it was at Shea Stadium, but it had nothing to do with baseball. Rosalita, you up on the stage with Bruce. What was that like?
I'm going to say this, and I've heard actors say this before, and it kind of annoyed me when they said they experienced a surreal experience, something out of body. When Bruce had called me and asked for me to go up, and it was going to end his tour, it was going to be at Shea Stadium. I'm a Springsteen fan, but not nearly to the fanaticism of the Backstreet Crew. So, and I've watched a ton of his concerts, but not hundreds. And I said, sure. Initially I said no, and some of my buddies said, are you kidding me? So Bruce, he come for me, he said, look, go up there, bang the tambourine with Patty, have a good time. And when I stood under the stage, I knew when I was going up, and I got behind the stage, and I'm looking up, and there's a ramp going up to the stage, which was in center field, and then you have Shea Stadium. And I'm standing there, and right before I go up, I'm saying, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And when he called my name and I walked up, the difference between as a player, I'm performing to my catcher, performing to his glove, there's the umpire, there's the batter. You're not performing, even though I wasn't performing, I was on stage. It was a total awesome experience that I'll never forget.